Now let's deep dive to the FTR strategy. Friends, everyone saw this example before in the previous session. Everyone clear with this example? Are you able to connect to the two engulf of the H1, engulf of the H2, the beautiful base formation and the massive rally thereafter? You know, these kind of clean FTR patterns work phenomenally well. All right. So anybody, any confusion here? Because the subsequent slides will throw more challenges. Sounds good. And this is the second example that we gave. Are you able to locate your H1, H2? This is your H1 and this is your H2. All right. You can always ask me, Ashok, there is a level over level here. Yes. This FTR played well because of this strong momentum here. Can you see this? Sounds good. Now let's move on to the third example. Please have a look at this example. Reconfirm the points once. Are you guys able to connect? So let me mark it H1. Why? It is a significant high. And then H2. After H2 is formed, there is a base which got formed. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4, not 3. And this high was broken here, 5. Okay. And then price reacted once, price reacted twice, and price reacted thrice. Okay. This is not FTB. This is FTB. This is 2 TB and this is 3 TB. That's how it should be. Okay. And there is a comment from Muthu. He's telling, sir, this is not a great urgency. Agreed. That is a fair statement. That is a fair statement, Muthu. Look at this interesting example. Number 1, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5. Okay. Now, some of you might argue with me saying, Ashok, there are 5 zones here. In this, I'm sorry, not 5 zones, 5 bases. Okay. However, I give more weight to this because of this gap up. Can you make out this, friends? There is a gap up momentum candle there now. It is not a base, it's a gap up momentum. And the price came and gave a very good bounce. Any confusions? This is a major SR. It's not even a minor. 1, 2, 3. So when we find such clear FTRs, the probability of success is comparatively very high. Okay. So any question here? Okay, there is one more interesting observation here. This is your H3. This is your H4. How many of you agree this is an FTR2? Everyone get that? Everyone connect? Is that an escalator? Okay, even that FTR worked. See, FTR2 first gave an entry and then FTR1. Both FTRs gave an entry. Okay, good. Now let us look at this example. This is an H1, broke, H1 broken, H2 formed, then price came down, formed a base, and then broke H2 also here. Now number one, why did this FTR fail? Why did this FTR fail? Wow, that's very good. Amit says the arrival was very fast. Okay, that's a good point. Dibyakan says there is a level over level. Very good. That is another good point. Vikram says it's not a significant SR. Sendil also says arrival. There's one more strong reason. I want that reason. I can give a clue. Watch here. The clue lies here. Okay, the answer is the zone is tested. The FTR is a tested FTR. Is the zone fresh? Look at this drop base. Okay. Okay. This is a zone. Can you make out? See, this guy has already gone and tested, which means this went out, came in, and then went up. Is the zone fresh? Is it not tested? The price came in, already ate some pending orders. That is most important of all, which made this particular zone weaker. Everyone understand? How many of you get that? This is a tested zone, which is more critical. You saw arrival, you saw everything, but the zone is tested, which is most important. You will realize only you give a closer look. You have to give a closer look. Agreed? Okay. Urjil is asking, can you please repeat the explanation? So the point here is, friends, this FTR is comparatively fine. For me, H1 is also fine. This is a significant H1 for me. That is never a complaint. Number one, H1 formed. H2, H1 is broken. Step number 2. Step number 3, H3 is also formed. Step number 4, the base formation is fine. Step number 5, H2 is broken. Now, still this FTR failed because of this fake out. So why did that fake out come? Number one, there are multiple reasons. One reason people gave is this arrival is very, very fast. What did we say? Our departure has to be strong, arrival has to be weak. That's what we discussed. Number one. Number two, someone said there is a level over level. There is a level over level. Okay, that is the second reason. Okay, and the primary reason for me is that this zone is already tested by this base candle. What do you mean by tested? After the price comes down, goes out of the zone, if it comes back inside for the first time, this is FTB. So technically our trade entry is not FTB, it is 2TB, and that is a primary reason that this one failed, coupled with the arrival issue and the level over level issue. That is the primary reason. Okay. Now there is a question, Ashok, can I trade it 2TB? You can trade 2TB. I will show you scenarios of 2TB, but that scenario does not exist here. And one interesting question comes, Ashok, is FTR valid before engulfing? Let's look at this. Okay. Now friends, our colleague is telling, okay, I'm going to mark this example for you friends. Current market price. Friends, what is this? That is a flag limit. Friends, what is this? It is not an FTR. Tell me why it is not an FTR. Tell me why it is not an FTR. Where is H2 engulf? Where is step number 5? So is that an FTR? It is not an FTR. Clear friends? Yes. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Now look at this scenario. You can look at it from a different perspective altogether. All right. So I took this level as H1. Okay. And then price formed a high, H2 came down and boomed. Okay. Now is this a flag limit demand zone, friends? How many of you consider that as a flag limit demand zone? No, it is not. Why? Because the SR line is cutting through momentum. So we can't call it as a flag limit demand zone. Okay. Now, is this H2 engulf base formation? Is this good? Can you call this as an FTR demand zone? Awesome. Awesome. Now, look at this example. Canara Bank. This is H1. Okay. H1 broken, okay, and this is your H2. Okay, now the H1 has broken. What kind of flag limit zone is this? And it says audio connection lost. Can you guys reconfirm that you can hear me? Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is case 2. Why wick to wick? Perfect. Price came down, reacted from the zone. All right, the trade worked. Now look at this. The price broke that H2 also. Is that not a FTR demand zone now? Initially, there was a flag limit. That flag limit gave a trade, it reacted, and finally we made our progress. Okay, the FTR zone is the FTB of flag limit, which formed another zone. A very good question. Ankur says, Ashok, even if it by few pips, can we also call H2 engulfed F? Okay, and Vikram is asking, Ashok, after H2, show me is the base. Where is the base here? Where is the base? What kind of a pattern is this? A massive fall and a massive bull. What do we call it? It's called as bullish engulfing. Okay, if you go on a lower time frame, you will definitely see a base. How? This looks like this, but on a lower time frame, it will look like this. Everyone agree? Manish is asking, Ashok, can we take it as a wick? No. Look at this. This guy confirmed it. Until and unless spoken, okay, we need engulf. Engulf is close above the high, not just wick. Not just wick. Somebody is asking, sir, H2 is broken by this guy, but the close is here. This is not engulf. But look at this guy, close is above H2. This is engulf. Even if that engulf happens by 1 or 2 pips, it is still engulf. Is that clear? Yeah. Now look at this, friends. This guy is Idea Cellular. I'm hoping this guy will give some good results. H1, H2 and H2 is such that it is open is equal to high. There is a reasonable level over level there, but still I'm bullish on this zone because of this strong momentum candle, this rally. So 5 rupees is my entry. And there's one more question by Dibyakant. He says, sir, in the previous case, the after the flag limit, that zone became an FTR. So you think it will have good pending orders? Since it transformed into another power pattern, we are hoping that it will have reasonable amount of pending orders. Okay. And look at this guy. This guy is nifty. This is the 15 minutes chart of Nifty. This is this last week Nifty, May 27th. Yeah. Okay. This is last week Nifty. You can go and check its formations. This is your H1 and this is your H2. This is an FTR demand on a 15-minute chart. Okay. So Ramu sir is asking, is this significant? For it's reasonably significant. If it is not very significant, we can always pause it, never a problem. But I am of the opinion this should work. It can fail also. If it fails, let's go back and review. See, failure is part of our life. We are not looking for 60%, 80% accuracy here. Even a reasonable 30% accuracy will put us in sizable profits. This is Torrent Pharma. Okay. This is H1. And look at this guy. This is H2. And after that, look at the rally. Gap up rally. Gap up rally. Phenomenal rally. Check if the price came here. Vikram is asking, where is the base? This is the base. After H2, the H2 itself is a part of the base in this scenario. It is basically a gap up rally. There are two bases and then a rally. In that only the H2 is hidden. Okay. Now understand this pattern. This is a scenario where urgency is very high. Very good statement, Manish. Perfect statement. How many of you agree this is too much of urgency? Imagine how many of them would have been trapped here. Do you guys know how many people take a short trade because they see a doji? Imagine a life without these candles. At this point, many would have thought it will come down. They don't see the big picture. Now everyone remembers this example. We saw it before in the previous session. This is the theory example of supply FTR. Any questions so far, friends? Okay. So friends, remember all the future examples that we give. It's all about future. So Narsimha says in the previous example, there is a failed supply FTR. Where is it? Let me check all the engulfs. This was the first engulf. This was the next engulf. too much of congestion here. This is the next SR line. Okay, this SR line is broken, went up, formed a base and came down. This can be treated as an FTR which reacted not full 1:3 here. Okay, no, nothing here. We'll check, no worries. Okay, now let's take few more past example and then we'll pick up future examples. This example of supply FTR we have already seen. Okay, now this is a past example. So this is L1, low one formation, low one broken, L2 formed. Okay, base formation, L2 broken, and this is FTP. This worked. Is this a right trade? If no, why? Because it did not engulf. That was the reason. Because L2 was not engulfed. And this is one more story. This is S1, which is nothing but L1. This is your L2. Okay, I'm sorry, this is not your L2. This is your L2. Ideally, this should be your L2. This is wrong. Okay, now after L1 formation, price broke down, went ahead, formed a base and dropped down. Okay, this is your FTB. Right, that's correct. Everyone agree? That is our FTB. That is correct. Okay, now it failed. Purely the price went up to the level or level, picked up order and then came down. So this is a stop loss hit. Okay, S2 is this. In this example, this is S2. This is not S2. This is S3. Yes. In this example, it has mentioned as support 1, support 2. It's L1, L2, L3 only. Correct. Okay, now let's take up some of the more examples. This is an Ashok Leyland chart of the past. This is L1. This is L2. Price formed a supply zone and reacted. So this is your FTB. This is your FTB. There are small LOLs. That is correct. Whenever there is LOL, we need to be cautioned. To be honest, in this example, I have an LOL here. So my stop loss should be this ideally. This should be my ideal stop loss. Correct, Manish? Ritesh is asking, Ashok, in the intraday trades, is it applicable for next day also? Yes, absolutely. But only point is when there is any major news gap up, gap down, the zone will fail because the intraday zones are not that strong to face the storm of the next day. So it's safer for you to cut off. But for all trading conditions, intraday level, you can check previous day data and mark your levels. Okay, so Nishi is asking, is there a FTR on the top left? Probably, if you take this region as an L1, okay, and then this as your L2, this becomes your supply FTR, and this is your trade. But most of the time, significant H1 and L1 will play a strong scenario all the time. Now look at this example. This is a beautiful L1. It tested 1, 2, 3 times, not even 3, 4 times. And then it broke down, formed L2, step number 3, went up, formed a base, and then a gap down. And then a gap down, and price came down. This is an FTR supply zone. Is it a good FTR to trade? Okay, observe carefully. Observe carefully. After this gap down formation, price went up, ate the orders and came down. How many of you can make out this is a tested zone? How many of you can make out the zone I have marked is a tested zone? So Ehsan is saying, Ashok, can I say FTR is not always a continuation pattern, but sometimes a reversal pattern? Not at all. It is a continuation pattern. Why it's continuation pattern? See this: high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. What is this pattern, sir? Ehsan, where is the trend? The trend is down. When the trend is down, you are looking for a short opportunity. It is not a reversal. It is a continuation. Trend continuation pattern. Wherever it is. Because always remember, whenever you make this formation, L1, broken, L2, and broken. Okay. Whenever this scenario happens, don't you think this trend line is this? You are able to join the peaks, right? How many of you get this? I will draw it separately. This is an SR line. Okay. This one was broken. What is this? This is an FTR. Agree? Now, if I join, is this not a trend line? What is this? It's a downtrend line. For you, since it is coming like this, upside and then reversing, you are feeling it's a reversal. It is not upside. The overall trend is still down. Everyone get that? The larger trend is still down. So it should not look like a reversal for you. Now look at this example of Ashok Leyland. Okay, price did not break this barrier for a long time. So L1, L2, Okay, and this is my point. And now remember, friends, can you can you can you treat this as case 2 of flag limit? How many of you with me? It's case 2 of flag limit, and this is your trade. This is your FTB. Everyone with me? Yeah. Okay, it's a very quick reaction and price came and dropped. Now, this is an SR line L1. This I treat as L2. Price came down. Okay, and this is my zone now. This is my zone of action. What is this zone? That is an FTR, and look at how price is playing. See, look at its Dhamma. If it continues to do, when it comes here, that makes this guy as Australia and this guy as Afghanistan, who cannot fight against a mighty Australian cricket team. Yes, it's a 2TB. No wonder it's a 2TB, because it's a double power pattern hidden in two particular zones. Yes, Manish. This is Bajaj Finance. Okay, here is your L1 and here is your L2. Okay, price went up, a bouncer, a base, and a further bouncer. Okay, and this is your FTR supply zone. Okay, okay, now Shivangi is telling this is reversal trade. This is not reversal trade, because this overall thing, see, the point is you are playing from this trend perspective. This is a larger trend. Okay, see, I agree, you can draw this trend line. Okay, but from this larger trend perspective, this is a continuation pattern of the reversal. The way I am telling is like this. See this. So this is my higher trend line. Okay, so in the weekly reviews we will come across many more examples and scenarios. If all of you start throwing one chart, imagine how many charts we will have to study. We'll have almost 75 to 100 charts. Yesterday weekly review we studied almost like 77-80 charts. Okay, now let us look at okay, there's one catch in this game. Level over level. All right, so next time price comes there, it can react, so safer to play on the higher side. This is Eicher Motors. I marked this chart early this week, over the weekend. Okay, now look at this. Now this is L1 for me. Okay, engulfed, and this is L2. Now look at this guy, open is equal to high. Can you make out, friends? That fellow is open is equal to high. Okay, now tell me, if I mark this zone, is this an authentic zone? It is not an authentic zone because it is touching another base. Is that a fresh zone? Is that a fresh zone? It is a fresh zone. It is a reaction zone, but a fresh zone. Very good. So we trade only fresh zones, right? So we'll wait for the trade. Look at this, Piramal Enterprises. Okay, price stopped here L1, price stopped here L2. Now look at the sense of urgency. Understand the urgency here. Can you guys make out? What is doing? Came down, went up, played manipulation, went down. This is a kind of urgency FTRs that we need to focus on. FTB is not yet done. Who said FTB is done? In this example, it is drop, base, rally, base, and then drop. So this rally base drop is a fresh zone. FTB is not done. Venkat is asking, can we expect the zones to be retested when COVID-19 second wave happens? Every zone gets tested. I'm waiting for the bigger fall. Look at this scenario. This is L1. This is my L2. Gap up rally, base, and significant drop. Okay, I want to take my trade here. Let us see at 76 levels. And this is a perfect example if you ask me. Can you make out? Look at the state of urgency here. This is IDFC L1, L2. Okay, and see here also drop, here also drop. So there is no level or level problem. This zone is beautiful. So generally what I do, if I don't want to track when price comes to these kind of levels, no, I will just buy a put option and of the next month and leave it. Sir, how did you decide stop loss? Okay, for stop loss, as I told you, the distal line is at the top. There's no change in that. Okay, and the proximal line, I took it to the top of the body. You can generally take whichever you want. I always want small zones. As I told you, I will not take a F&O trade if the overall zone length is maximum. The range of zone should be 2%. Why 2%? I prefer 2% because when I started trading, I had a capital of 15 lakhs. 15 lakhs, 1% is 15,000. So 2% of the F&O is like 15,000. 7,500 is 1% of F&O lot. So 2% was the maximum risk of the capital I used to take those days. And that is maximum. To be honest, now if you ask me, you should take 1% only in these kind of brutal times, which is 7,500. In the subsequent sessions, we will teach how to do RR enhancements. Okay, this was IDFC done. Look at IRB infra. Okay, L1, L2. Okay, now here there is a problem. See, this is we have level over level. That's an issue. But the funny part is I weighted my zone here. This was my FTR, but the price reacted directly from your wick to wick scenario, which means this is a trade which I try, but operation success, patient died. Okay, because I always trade body to wick, I never trade wick to wick. So this is a trade, good trade, which I would have missed. And it's a trade off. I can't repent for missing this trade. Many times, for every trade where I do body to wick, I am saving money, no? So it's all ultimately a trade off. Yes, Akbar. Now look at this scenario, friends. Karnataka Bank, L1, L2. Okay, friends, can you treat this as a flag limit? If yes, which case? It is case 2. And is this a base or a body, friends? Do you take this as a base or body? Is that a base or body? It is a body because it's a gap down candle, no? So when you blend this particular momentum with that, it becomes a body, no? It becomes a momentum candle. When you blend it with the invisible momentum of gap. Okay, in that, if you take it that way, this trade, this is an FTB reaction. But if you take this as L1 and this as L2, this is your zone of action. So I took the top and this one. I just want to test if this really works. It cannot be case 3 because wicks, both wicks are overlapping. They are overlapping wicks. And this is an example from commodity. Okay. This is an example of commodity. This is L1, low 1, and this is L2, low 2. Okay, and technically speaking, the zone should be, the distal line should be this one, not that one. Entry is fine. Entry is okay. This is how the stop loss should be, because this wick can cheat. Okay, and that's where the reaction is. What is the overall trend down? Just put a trend line, you will know. Peak, peak. Overall trend is down, so you are looking for a shorting opportunity. But this movement is the lowest time frame trying to be in alignment with the higher time frame. Get that? Yeah. And finally, we will get in sync with it. Okay. So what all did we learn? We even draw the 4 FTR patterns for your learnings. Okay. So one thing, friends, key point you should know. Now we are only focusing on entry and stop loss. Targets, change in targets, revision of targets, reducing RR. Okay, taking higher targets. These are all possibilities we will discuss in subsequent slides. Okay, let us finish few more patterns and then we will start creating opposite patterns and try to build a story. That will generally take little more time and we'll start marking it. So once you are sure with the vanilla power patterns, okay, this is flag limit, this is FTR, and then the relationship between two different power patterns. Okay, price can move from a flag limit power demand to a FTR supply, from an FTR supply to another FTR demand, and so on. Okay, and once you mark all of that, it will be clear. Okay, so Susman is asking, can you show a nifty example? This was a nifty example, if you remember. Where was that? We had a nifty, no? I think there was a 15 minutes nifty chart somewhere, right? Yeah, here you go. This is a nifty 15-minute chart of last week. H1, H2. This is the FTR demand. Susman, you get that? Okay, I can even go back to the charts. Okay, so Narsimha says, can you go back to the slide you explained for failed supply FTR? Okay. This one? Yeah, tell me. Okay, this is the failed chart. Okay, so someone is asking, can you go to gold and crude charts? We can do that. So this is gold futures, MCX gold. Okay, full chart. MCX gold, not this one probably. This is not the one. Okay, let's take this. Is it not continuation chart? Let me try Nifty first. Wait. Nifty 50. Yeah, Nifty is coming. Is there a way to make it bigger? Yeah, here you go. Okay. All right, so this is a 15-minute. Let me see something on a 5-minute chart if I can, something interesting on an FTR pattern. Okay, so this is Nifty, and I'll take a horizontal line to place it wherever I want. This is an SR line. SR line base engulfed. Okay, this is interesting. Which pattern is this? Can someone tell me? What is that? That is not case 3. How many of you think this is case 3? That is not case 3. It is case 1 only. It is case 1. It is absolutely case 1. This is a beautiful flag limit on a intraday. When did this appear? This came yesterday, I guess. Yeah, yesterday's pattern. It's a good trade. Acha, this is wrong, friends. Your zone should be like this. You need to cover the wick also. Why? That would be level over level. That's why. This trade you get only if you are marking wick to wick. But people like me who will mark body to wick, I would have missed this trade, mind you. So it's all individual choices. So those of you who would ideally mark wick to wick might have got it, but I don't think I would have got this trade because I always mark body to wick. Okay, the next thing I can do is to draw another horizontal line here. Is there a good engulf? Okay, there's nothing here. This is absolute compression. This whole thing, friends, this whole thing is compression. How many of you agree? Can you mark one good zone here which is fresh? Can anybody take the challenge of marking one zone here which is which is fresh? Yeah, any one zone. Mark a good base which is fresh and not even tested. See, look at this. I'll try to mark it for you. It's very difficult. See, this is bullish engulfing, again tested, drop, base rally, this guy, this is tested, rally, base, drop. This is another zone that is tested, rally, all bases. These are all bases. These are all bases. Everything is base. So in these regions, you should never trade. Okay. Good. Now, the homework to every one of you is very simple. You guys have to just mark one best FTR chart from your experience and throw it as an example, and we will take it up in the Friday review meeting and go through all the slides. Okay, Ashok, is there a trade here? Yeah, Vidya, it was a beautiful trade, but if you had marked wick to wick, you would have got it. If you had marked body to wick, you would not have got it. Okay, so friends, just take whichever chart you want, all the charts, just watch them and mark one best FTR for you. Okay, with that I will have at least 50 to 75 slides to review next week, and that will be a great learning for all of us. Okay, friends. With this, we come to the practical deep dive session of FTR. I hope every one of you got a better clarity on the entire concept, anatomy, and the way in which it can help. And remember the fact, you need to always superimpose the enhancements, the departure, the arrival, and all those aspects to make it more, promising or more prospective trait. Okay, friends. All right. So we'll catch up for post lunch and to discuss on the next session. Thank you very much. So friends, it's all 12:10 now. Shall we connect at 1:30 p.m. sharp? 1:30 or 2? Throw your votes. Majority wins. Okay, 1:30 won the show. 2 very comparatively lesser votes. So we'll connect at 1:30. Thank you very much. Okay, friends. Have a nice lunch. I'll see you post lunch at 1:30 sharp. Bye-bye.